Looking for great pay and a supportive team? Ready to help deliver what matters? Join UPS, and a seasonal job here could turn into a rewarding career. Right now, we're hiring warehouse workers, package delivery drivers, and tractor-trailer drivers near you. All positions offer competitive pay, and bonuses are offered for some roles. Shift your life. Shift your world. Shift to Team UPS today. Apply now at upsjobs.com/shift. Make the shift. Make a difference.
Good morning, everybody. Kevin Draco here, host of this Dream House. And yes, in fact, the boys are back in town and the band is back together. This is This Dream House, brought to you in part by Appliance Factory in Mattress Kingdom, Colorado's largest appliance and mattress retailer. This Dream House, if you don't already know, is a program that's all about the home, and we're going to discuss renovations, remodels, and converting your property into your dream house. And we're also going to navigate some common homeowner pitfalls and even give you advice on buying and selling homes. My God, it is good seeing you both back on the show. I missed y'all. Believe it or not, I did miss you.
Well, where have you guys been? I've been working here nonstop. And then you guys just take a break and then just come back whenever you feel like it?
Well, you know, Chef, I am sure has been working. There's only one guy on this show that's been taking a break, and it's yours truly. I have the most wonderful wife. I mean, literally, how many wives to say, yeah, you could walk away from it all. We're going to move to Europe, and you don't have to do nothing.
I got to tell you, Chef Mark here, I got to tell you, you are indeed a trophy husband.
Indeed. I was kept. I was a kept man. And, you know, I mean, that's just how I roll, right? I mean, I was like the cabana boy, the pool, whatever you want to call it, but had a great time. But most importantly, it's fabulous to be back in the beautiful city of Denver. Got a nice place downtown now, enjoying life. And look, we're ready to get this show back going again, and we're ready to bring a lot of new fun things to the radio show. So, hey, Kev, you know, I wanted to talk to you this week a little bit about something I heard with Zach and Stokely, okay? And they talked about the divorce between Seattle and Russ Wilson, and they questioned his speed and if he was elusive and if he was a top-tier quarterback anymore. Why put the brakes on Russ, who really seems to have a lot of this physical element, and yet I kind of remember when Peyton came here. Now, Zach and Stoke weren't here on air, but I don't remember people questioning whether Peyton could still be a top 10 quarterback. We just knew it based on what he did, and I guess I'm on the side that based on what Russ has done and based on his physical shape, and pretty much coming from an organization that really didn't like to necessarily throw the ball. So, of course, if I get a pass play, I'm probably myself going, yeah, I'm going to probably do everything I can do to not just have a little dump-off play, right? I think Russ is capable of that. But I guess my point is, are we being too hard on Russ and setting a lower expectation of him? And if so, why?
Well, the thing with Peyton Manning was he was coming off those foreign egg surgeries. So a lot of people were like, can he even throw a football anymore?
But did they doubt it when he came in?
A lot of people did.
I kind of remember people just like, hey, it's Peyton. It's okay.
Yeah. You might have been talking to me.
I know that's your guy, man.
But like Russell Wilson, if you kind of look at his numbers over the years, like he's a top 10, at times top 5 quarterback. I think it's fair for people to be like, well, is he, like, I get there's some uncertainty. I'm kind of against Stokely on that. Like, yeah, dude, I don't think he's going to be a top 5 guy right now. He's definitely top 10. But the thing is with Seattle, that was a just dysfunctional franchise right there. The offensive, he wasn't running the same offense. I know he's running the West Coast offense, but he's not running a Shanahan West Coast offense. So when he's here with Nathaniel Hackett, it's going to be more souped up. It's going to look a lot more sexy. Last year, he threw for 3,000 yards, 3,100, but he missed 3 games. So he probably wouldn't have gotten to that 4,000 mark. He only threw 25 touchdowns. We'll round that up to 30 if he plays 3 more games. So
in an offense that really isn't throwing the ball, let's be honest.
And the offensive line was so bad out there. They haven't had a running back since Marshawn Lynch. I mean, there was a lot of stuff. It's like, it's kind of a miracle that Russell Wilson threw for 3,000 yards up there.
All right. With that being said, my first guest today really needs no introduction. She's been captain of the Bronco cheerleaders, performed at 2 Super Bowls, which we'll talk about because to me, I can't even imagine that. Then became traffic reporter for Fox 31 here locally, and of course earned the nickname Traffic Jam Sam. Then did some desk anchoring, and currently the in-stadium host for the Denver Broncos. And if that wasn't enough, during the pandemic, did a 360 switch and transitioned into home mortgage and lending with Pivot Lending Group. And Sam, my God, it's good to see you. You're kind of looking at me like, wow, you need no intro, but that was a long intro, Kev.
You just rattled off my whole resume.
I tried, and I think what was really interesting, and I've known you for quite some time now, but I realized in doing some research, there was a lot I didn't know, and you've done so many things. I think that's so admirable.
Well, thank you.
Let's talk about Pivot Lending.
Yeah.
And what a transition that has been, and you talked about it. It was scary.
Yeah, it definitely was, a big leap to go from being on air, broadcasting with Fox 31. But I did find a new avenue that I was really passionate about to be able to help people get into homes or just help them with financing in general. Obviously, you can do so much if you do already own a home and you have that equity in the property. So multiple different reasons for, leaving the news industry and getting into mortgages. But I've had a really successful run with it so far. I've been with Pivot for just over 2 years. And
I believe it's 2 years already.
I know. And in those 2 years, have we ridden the roller coaster or have we?
Oh my God, yeah,
we've
right?
been through the rates that have dropped down to like 2% or sub 2% with the refi bonanza. And then all of a sudden we're in, crazy housing market, like low inventories, buyer competition, all of these unreal offers well above asking, people doing insane appraisal gaps, and then pretty much everything rocketing to a halt when rates start going up, and then buyers don't want to, take that risk of getting into a home at a higher rate. The market has continued to change aggressively over the last 2 years.
So what makes Pivot sort of different than any other mortgage lending group, and why did you select them?
Yeah. So first and foremost, we are here local. We're based out of the Ken Carroll area. Our offices are down there in Southwest Littleton. And I'm based out of a new office location that's up in Boulder. So that's where my home base is. But we continue to always interact with not only our local folks here, but with our local credit unions. So we have a strong partnership with local credit unions here in Colorado, and then local credit unions in other states where Pivot does business. And based on those relationships that we have with credit unions, we are able to not only help their members, but also to help other people with financing that our credit unions can help provide a relationship there if those folks maybe don't always fit those exact qualifications that are set forth by Fannie and Freddie guidelines.
Sure. And, you talked a little bit about the landscaping, and it's constantly changing.
Yeah.
Would you say right now, because to your point, it always seemed to be a seller's market. I've heard of things like people going 70,000 over cash in hand.
Oh,
right?
100 plus.
Yeah, and not getting the deal.
Right.
And so now, would you say, hey, Kev, this is a much more friendly sort of buyer's market, and in some way, does that make it easier for, Pivot Lending to sort of meet their needs?
Oh my gosh, it was so hard for me to do my job back in February, March, April, because there were so many cash buyers that were coming from out of state. And those out of state cash buyers were pushing everyone that was here in Colorado.
Right.
They're renting, they want to get out of renting, they want to stay in Colorado, they want to buy in Colorado, and we're getting pushed out by all of these out of state cash buyers. And it was making it really hard for me to do my job to help those folks get into homes. But now the whole landscape, as you mentioned, has changed. It is such a better state for buyers to get into homes, to be able to negotiate with sellers. There are a lot of motivated sellers that are trying to sell right now. and you have that upper hand. You have that ability to get into a home, to not have to fight just for a showing time. And showing times back in the spring, it was like, you've got 10 minutes. You better run through every room and then put an offer in immediately.
That is insane.
It's a completely different landscape. So if you are really seriously thinking about buying, or maybe you just kind of want to dip your toe in the water, now is the time to do it and to get serious about it.
Well, I kind of chuckled a little bit. I saw this statistic where it was like there was 3.1% availability in properties this same time last year. And it's so much better.
Yes.
Because it's 7.5%. I'm thinking, well, that doesn't sound like a whole lot of places to look.
No, so typically, based on statistics, inventory is still down. However, now, in comparison to earlier this year, inventory has continued to go up. And on top of that, we've seen less buyers competing to get those same properties. So if you're still in it, you're going to have a lot more properties to go after. You're going to have a lot less competition. Here's the thing about rates. Rates are temporary. Getting into that home, that's going to be permanent for you. So get into the home, date the rate, but marry the home, because that rate can be temporary. It can be refied at a later time into a different, loan, a different rate. So it's not something that has to be permanent. You don't have to go into this home thinking, oh, well, there we go. We're paying a mortgage at, a rate that's higher than what it was 3 months ago. But it's not something that you're committing to that mortgage for, the next decade. You can always have that option of refining.
Hey, Sam, I got a question for you. Since I got an expert sitting here, I want to know, is the 30-day closing the gold standard, the industry standard? What can your customers expect when they're working with you on a closing timeline?
Yeah, so it's going to differ, and it's going to differ for a lot of reasons. A lot of people are able to close in 21 days. If they have a particular loan program that they're trying to utilize, let's say if they're trying to utilize CHAFA or other down payment assistance programs, you're most likely looking at a 30-day close, because we do have to have some additional steps as part of the process to get you closed in certain loan programs. But a lot of people are able to close within 21. I have also, though, seen that buyers will negotiate with sellers if it's the buyer needs to vacate out of a rental property, at a certain point in time. Maybe they want to extend their closing longer than 30 days, or maybe they want to close in 30 days, but then have an occupancy that would, move in a later time and give that seller some more time to stay in the property. There's a lot of different, options.
There's a lot
and
of flexibility
wiggle room
there.
And flexibility
That's
there.
great. Yeah. And then I got another question. So do you recommend that home buyers get pre-approved to help save time?
Oh,
okay.
always.
Tell me about that.
Here's the thing. If you don't get pre-approved, number one, you could be spending all of your free time looking at houses online and on Zillow and wherever else, and you don't actually know what your budget is. You don't know, is this $400,000 house something that I can afford? Can I afford more? Should I be looking at something less? You also need to kind of get a better sense of the mortgage process if you've never been through that before, if you're a first-time home buyer, so that you have all of your ducks in a row. That way, as soon as you start looking at properties, you're not going to get discouraged because you saw that property. Oh, and by the time you got your pre-approval started, you got your documents in, we ran your credit, it was too late. You missed the boat. You missed putting an offer in on that property.
You fell in love and you accidentally swiped left.
Right. Yeah. So you don't want to fall in love with a property before you get pre-approved and even know whether or not that's, the direction that you can go. And a pre-approval really doesn't take that long. But for some folks that maybe they want to work on some items within their credit and their credit report. Maybe they want to make some better plans on what kind of funds they're bringing for down payment, or if they need to access gift funds from a relative. All of these items can sometimes take time to to get organized. And so it's always a good idea to get pre-approved and know what you're looking at before you start shopping.
Oh, that's great advice. Thanks for letting us know.
So, Sam, let's let everybody know, how can somebody get in contact with you?
Yeah. Well, you can either go to a website, applytosam.com. Applytosam.com will lead you right to my webpage. You can contact me, either call or text at 720-454-4704. And you can also just check out the pivotlending.com website and get more information there.
Yeah, so pivotlending.com and apply to Sam. That's kind of catchy.
Yeah.
I even remember that. I think our listeners driving down the road could remember that. And, kind of leads me in segues. See how I did that segue, you guys? You see? I haven't really been gone for 3 years.
Sam's got the best cash lines.
That was the worst segue.
No, it wasn't. You don't even know what I'm going to say yet. Well, maybe you do. All right.
That's why it's a bad segue.
Kevin is a mind reader.
I've got to ask you, when you were on Fox 31, I'll never forget the day I first heard Traffic Jam Sam.
Uh-huh.
Which, it made me chuckle out loud. Who coined that? And then it took off, right?
Oh, it totally did. Yeah, everybody around the station, or even folks that would tweet at me during the morning show, they loved calling me Traffic Jam Sam. And so Megan O'Halloran, who was our news anchor on the morning show with Fox 31, she started calling me Traffic Jam Sam just randomly one day. But there's a little bit of a backstory to that. So she actually used to work in Nashville before she worked in Denver. She worked at a news station there. And there also was a traffic reporter. She also was named Sam. And she actually was the first one that I'm aware of. Maybe there's someone before her. I don't know. Maybe this is just like a long line of Traffic Jam Sams. But that gal in Nashville, she calls herself Traffic Jam Sam. And she actually has the Twitter handle to prove it, too. So
it actually disappoints me a little bit. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I thought, wow, Megan, that's clever. That was so clever.
You
right?
can't give Megan that much credit.
No, I wanted to. I really did. So, okay, I get it. So, you performed in 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And I think I mentioned it earlier. Like, I can't even fathom. I mean, what for you, was there this pressure that, okay, it's one thing to sort of perform at a game, and you've been at games in front of large audiences, but like, does it ever kick in that you're performing in front of millions of people, and oh God, please don't let me slip? I don't know. I don't know what goes through your mind.
No, that definitely did not go through my mind. But I also think, let's be real. They only give so much airtime to the cheerleaders. So it's not like we were going to be on TV with cameras in front of us the same way that the guys are when they're on the field. So
I get it. They get a lot of time. But
they get a lot of time.
You do get time. Like, I don't know. I don't care if it was 3 seconds. I have a hard enough time coming on here and well, you want me to do what, when, and how? Like, I get nervous, to be honest with you. And so I can imagine that. But also currently you do in-stadium announcing for the Broncos currently, which has got to be cool because you get to, I'm sure you know a lot of people over there and say hey and catch up with people.
It's awesome.
What happens for that? What are you doing?
Right. So not this season, but last season. So it feels like 2 seasons ago, but it's actually last season. We at the Broncos really wanted to continue to engage more with our fans, to be able to connect with different kinds of contests or fan features. And so when the Broncos decided that they were going to create this role for an in-stadium host and more fan engagement, they reached out to me, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm super honored. I will be there in a heartbeat.
That is incredible.
Yeah. So what we do throughout the games, I'm going to be walking around through the stadium. We meet up with different fans. We have different kinds of contests that those fans can compete in for prizes. And also something a little bit new this season, as we always do feature our Ring of Famers and our Broncos legends throughout, any Broncos game. This year, I actually get to go and kind of hang out with the guys. So, if it's Carl Mecklenburg that's going to be in there, or, maybe Steve Atwater one day. I know he's obviously reporting every game with the team, but just any of those guys that are Ring of Famers or our Broncos legends that are being featured at the game, I'll be able to kind of hang out with them and make it a little bit more interactive for all of the fans.
Before we let you go, this is opening weekend for the Broncos. The greatest time of year. They're playing on Monday night. And I'm going to try to pick. I think we'll start with Sam because she's probably going to be the one that's most right. So, Sam, what we want to do
no
here.
Pressure.
None whatsoever. I want to get your game prediction for the Seahawks. But then I also want to know, obviously everybody's kind of excited about this team. Okay, so then I want what's going to be the record at the end of the year prediction?
Oh, my gosh, the record? Well, let's just say let's go to the Super Bowl. When we
So you're saying like undefeated or something?
Well, not undefeated, but
Okay. So first, who's winning on Monday night?
Monday night, I'm going Broncos 27-17. Wow. I think though it's going to be a heck of a game because we all know how loud it gets in Seattle, and of course, there's a big reason that they're going to Seattle. We have Russell Wilson, and I don't know how the fans are going to react to that. It's one of those like bittersweet moments for them.
First off, good pick.
Oh, thank you.
I'll explain that in a little bit. And we don't talk about this before. This is like, hey, spur of the moment, pick your scores and who's going to win.
Okay.
Chef.
Well, I am not admittedly a football, baseball, basketball.
Right, if we were talking like BMX biking or
if we're talking
hiking
World Cup,
or
downhill mountain biking, I can tell you who's the point leader and by how much. So I'm going to be a little bit more generic in my prediction. It's going to be Broncos by 3.
All right, and what do you think for the season? What do you think the record's going to be?
I think they're going to improve on last season, 10-7.
10-7. All right.
Very nice.
Our local pro, because this is what this guy does every day. He's on with Orlando and Cecil, and then, he knows all the guys. He has all this conversation, so you better be right.
I got to be right.
You got to be right. You're the only one with pressure. So what do you got?
I will go 12-5 on the season.
12-5.
I think they improved that much. I'm going to say 27-16.
Oh.
I don't think Drew Lock or Geno Smith is going to do anything against this Denver defense.
Okay. All right.
I watched Dak Prescott not be able to move the ball.
What was the win total again?
12-5.
Wow. Okay.
Because I'm feeling a lot more confident about my actual score now.
It's about to get even better, Sam.
Because really, think about it. Is this team going to lose more than 5 games?
Okay.
Here we go. That's kind of how I'm looking at
it. Yes, I think they are. And look, I think this team, we're getting there, right? Even if we look at Peyton's first year, Peyton came in, took a little bit to get the offense going, and look, that team was already built for a Super Bowl. This team isn't necessarily built for a Super Bowl. It's struggled, and you're not going to build it in a year. I think we're going to be much better. And yes, Russell Wilson adds a lot. I think we have some depth to add. That being said, here's what I think. Very close game to start. Maybe even a little bit like, oh, God. All right? Think about it. You're in Seattle. It's a tough place to play. So I think Seattle's going to keep it close. But ultimately, I do agree with you. I do think this defense is going to keep them down. And to Sam's credit, I have it at 27-17. I was kind of going to go 3 points for the game. However, I really think it is going to ultimately, they're going to pull away a little bit somewhat comfortably. So I'm going to go 27-17, and I'm going to stick with where I was in the beginning of my thoughts in the beginning of the season, which were 10-7, okay? A stretch is 11. I wouldn't be surprised 9-8. But really, I think it's 10-7. And here's the crazy thing. Let's admit it, right, Kev? 10-7, you could finish second or third. I don't think you'll win it at 10-7, but frankly, you could finish in fourth. And I think that's what's so intriguing about this season. If the Broncos came in last, would I be shocked? No, I really wouldn't be. I think any worse than 9-8, yeah, That would be a disappointment. I don't know how you guys feel, but I would be disappointed.
Yeah.
I will give you some feedback from my perspective, and this is maybe some interesting information that doesn't matter to anyone else, but since I work with the photogs, that's a short name for the camera guys.
Okay.
The video folks out there.
I thought that was a breed of a dog for a second. I'm not going to lie.
Hey, I'm just rolling. I get it. Photogs, right? Photo. Okay, it's got to be.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
So the photogs that work with the team constantly are like, Coach Hackett, the dude is awesome. He gives us so much access to the team. He gives us so much access to the players. There's such a different energy. There's such a different vibe in the locker room, out on the, field, practice field, everything. So I think a lot of the coach's energy, coach's attitude can really, of course, set the trajectory for how those players are going to get out there on the field and what they're going to do throughout the season, even if, per se, it's not, set up to be a Super Bowl team just yet. But I do think that kind of energy in the locker room and in the team in general, I mean, even the photogs are commenting about how awesome it is just to be around that. So
yeah, maybe the Cincinnati Bengals of this season, right? Could be. I don't think that's a unfair go-to. So, Sam, thank you so much. It's been enjoyable. My God, I haven't hard enough time just keeping up with you on one show, let alone living your life. Oh. So I want to thank you for coming in and being part of the show.
Much for having
we really
me.
enjoyed having you, and hopefully we'll get you back on, and we'll have to review this
right.
pick, okay?
Right. You'll be like, well, where were your scores, actually?
All right. We'll be right back, everybody. Don't buy until you shop Appliance Factory in Mattress Kingdom, Colorado's appliance and mattress experts. With 18 Colorado stores and a 4.7 Google rating. Save 30 to 60% on thousands of appliances and mattresses in stock and available for next-day delivery. They have more products in stock than anywhere in Colorado. Appliance Factory gets exclusive factory buys from the manufacturers at a huge discount and passes that savings on to you. Guaranteed to beat Lowe's and Home Depot sales prices. Save 30 to 60% from GE to KitchenAid, Whirlpool to Samsung at Appliance Factory, Colorado's appliance experts with a 4.7 Google rating. Plus, Mattress Kingdom inside Appliance Factory, unbelievable savings. Work with the sleep experts at Mattress Kingdom. They have the most innovative brands like Purple and Nectar to Tempur-Pedic and Sealy. Save 30 to 60% on thousands of appliances and mattresses in stock. Appliance Factory and Mattress Kingdom has unbeatable savings. Don't buy until you shop at Appliance Factory and Mattress Kingdom. Visit ApplianceFactory.com. Welcome back to this Dream House, and it's time for our newest segment called 10-Second Tips from Chef Mark, sponsored by Appliance Factory Fine Lines, Denver's luxury retailer. The next time you're in Fine Lines, ask how you can qualify for an in-home cooking class for you and 10 of your closest friends with my co-host, celebrity chef Mark. Okay, Chef, I was out on your YouTube channel, and I saw this 10-second tips, and I was so amazed by it, and I thought, well, wouldn't that be fun to do here? We have a listener. They may be driving in their car. Maybe they're even at home. But I'm going to give you 10 seconds to share a tip.
Okay.
And I'm going to pick the tip.
Okay.
And today's tip is going to be how to sharpen your knives.
Okay.
Our best way to sharpen your knives.
Okay,
Is that fair? Is that easier?
You want me to talk about
10 seconds.
10, that's all I get is 10 seconds.
Not 11 seconds. Not 15
Don't
seconds.
go over.
10. Don't go over.
Okay.
Kev,
try my best.
you have this
You want me to
ready?
time this?
I need you to time it, man.
Okay.
He gets 10 seconds.
Whew.
All right.
Mark, go.
Okay, what you want to use is one of those sharpening steels. It's like a rod that's in your kitchen, and you run your knife on both sides of that, and that both removes the burrs, centers the blade, and keeps your knife sharp.
Kev?
On the dot.
No.
I swear.
What?
I promise.
What?
Yes.
Wow, Chef.
That was
pretty good. Kind of still sounded, kind of like the end of an ad, like a disclaimer at times. But he's got 10 seconds.
that was pretty dang good.
That's bringing the heat.
Now, I'm a little worried that our listeners, as quick as that was, may have not picked up on that. So
Sure.
how could our listeners see the full segment on your YouTube?
Yeah, so my YouTube channel is Chef Mark Kalix. So chef, like a guy who cooks. My name is Mark with a K and Kalix. Go there, and I have a whole playlist of knife skills, including how to keep your knives sharp and how to use them.
Well, you guys, look, what a fun time being back together. Like I said, the band is back together, and I want to thank you guys for a great time today, and remind our listeners to not forget to join us next Sunday here on 104.3 The Fan for more great information all about the home on this dream house. Have a great day, everybody. Don't buy until you shop Appliance Factory in Mattress Kingdom, Colorado's appliance and mattress experts. With 18 Colorado stores and a 4.7 Google rating. Save 30 to 60% on thousands of appliances and mattresses in stock and available for next day delivery. They have more products in stock than anywhere in Colorado. Appliance Factory gets exclusive factory buys from the manufacturers at a huge discount and passes that savings on to you. Guaranteed to beat Lowe's and Home Depot's sales prices. Save 30 to 60% from GE to KitchenAid, Whirlpool to Samsung at Appliance Factory, Colorado's appliance experts with a 4.7 Google rating. Plus, Mattress Kingdom inside Appliance Factory, unbelievable savings. Work with the sleep experts at Mattress Kingdom. They have the most innovative brands like Purple and Nectar to Tempur-Pedic and Sealy. Save 30 to 60% on thousands of appliances and mattresses in stock. Appliance Factory and Mattress Kingdom has unbeatable savings. Don't buy until you shop at Appliance Factory and Mattress Kingdom. Visit ApplianceFactory.com.